a lot of fun in the Big 12. So let's go ahead and move on to the Big 10 preview. Big 10 um, is 60 is what I think they're 14 teams deep as well. They're going to be adding four more teams, so they're about to be 18 teams in that conference. I think they're going to kick out two of the teams though. Honestly, I think that Nebraska and Rutgers could be on their way out, or Rutgers and Maryland could be on their way out of the Big Ten. Just think about it, because Rutgers and Maryland would probably be a lot better in the ACC. Just think about that. You know what I mean? Um, New Jersey, Nebraska, or New Jersey, Maryland. It all makes a little bit of sense there, but we'll see. Let's go ahead jump into the Big Ten. And the Big Ten, we have the East Division. I have Indiana being bad this year, under 3.5 is, and it's a plus 120 on that. But Indiana doesn't have anything. Okay, they're going to be a bad team this season, and that's all pretty much what people need to know. But one thing about them is they'll cover. I know that they'll be covering games, so I do like the under 3.5 here as a team that gets slapped around, but a team that actually covers that game as well too. Then we have Maryland under 7.5 this year. Maryland has a good mojo going into the year. They have probably one of the better quarterbacks in the conference as well too, but I don't think it's going to be enough for this team to get over that 7-win threshold. So I feel like they can land right at 7 games, be a bowl team, but not a team that plays a big factor in winning this conference. So we move forward. We got Michigan. And Michigan, I know Michigan is seen as the favorite because they have beat Ohio State the last 2 years. But, all in all, they will split the favoritism of who can win this conference this year. And you know what? 10.5 wins for Michigan this year. Winning 11 games is very doable, very, very doable. And the way that they've played the last few years, we all know they haven't lost one Big 10 game since 2021, since 2020. So pretty much, or we didn't even play during 2020. So, or did we? I can't remember. Did we? But all in all, Michigan has been so good in conference play, 26-0 the last 2 years. So pretty much, not 26-0, but what do I want to say? They have been. He played 9 games, I think, 10 games. So they've been 22-0 the last 2 years in conference. So that's pretty good because they haven't lost games in conference play either season. So that's something that you really can hang your hat on. And that's a really, really big deal. So that is incredible. And Michigan comes in here with that mantra. Michigan State, a team that's rebuilding right now, but I still think that their coach is on the hot seat because they fell very far from grace, and they're trying to pick up the pieces at Michigan State at this moment. They had an issue with fighting with Michigan last year. I think that they go over 5 games, though. I think that that's a little bit of a disrespect right there. So I have to take them over the 5. You have Ohio State over 10.5, plus 100. I think Ohio State is an easy 12-0 team this year. You look at the schedule, they're not playing against much to start the season off, and they seem to be able to run that schedule, but we know it's going to be tough with Penn State. It's going to be tough with the Wisconsins of the world. It's not going to be a walk in the park for Ohio State because they have the biggest target on their back because they're Ohio State. So I feel like they can get their 11 wins this year, possibly 12 this year. And I still think that it's going to be just another one of those great hyped up games when they play Michigan again this year. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We got Penn State under 9.5 plus 120. Penn State should be a very good team this year, but once again, you see what side of the board that they play on. And I think since they play on that side of the board, it's going to be really tough for them to win 10 games. I think that they're going to run into some issues with Michigan and Ohio State and possibly Michigan State. So we'll see how it goes, but I don't have that much confidence in Penn State being a 10-game winner this year. But you know what? The odds makers are saying that they are good enough to be a 10-win team because that's why they got them at plus 120 on the under. So we'll see how it goes. And then we have Rutgers, who I have over 3.5. Anytime you got Shiano coaching that team has an opportunity to win 5 games or better. He ain't going to sit up there and just let that team be sorry. He is just not in his nature. So you know how that goes. And then we have the West Division. We got Bellama back at Illinois. I do like him with the over 6.5. And this is a possible spoiler to everybody to steal the conference this year because Belima looked really good in a lot of games that they played last year. Not him, but the defense looked exceptional. And then the offense was able to grind out games as well, too. So you have to watch out for the Illini, as you have to truly watch out for them because this seems like a processing season and more up and up than anything. Then you have Iowa under 8.5 minus 115. You also have Minnesota over 7 plus 100. I'm kind of speeding through because there's not much to say about these teams. They're always going to be the same type of teams. They're going to win big games for you, but then they're going to lose big games for you as well, too. Then you have Nebraska over 6.5. I feel like the Matt Rule effect is going to have this team really good and possibly steal the west side of the Big Ten, and I know Nebraska fans are excited about what possibly can occur with this head coach. Then you have Northwestern under 3. This team might only win 1 game this year. It's that ugly. I think they got a bunch of walk-ons playing at this point right now. Nobody really cares to play for Northwestern after what happened with the hazing situation and everything like that. So they're going to be going with a lot of guys that are going to be the Rudy or like Rudy and shit. So it's going to be tough. So they'll probably get themselves one non-conference win against one of those Riverside School of the Deaf teams. But all in all, I don't see this team winning 1 game in the Big Ten this year. If they do, good for them. But most likely they don't. But they do have 2 teams that they can possibly do that to, probably Indiana or Rutgers. We have Purdue. I like them with the over 5 because everybody's always sleeping on Purdue. They're always under the radar, and they always figure out ways to win big games in West Lafayette. So I do like them with the over 5. And Wisconsin hasn't done much over the last couple years, and I don't see them doing much more this year. I think that they're going to be fairly average. They're going to be very middling, and them getting to 8 wins, that's a good thing for them this year, even though it's showing up that it looks like they should be the West winner this year because they're plus 130 on the under 8.5. But I think, though, you could possibly be a team with 8 wins and win this side of the division. With the on the East Division, you know what time it is. You have to finish with 11 or so wins. You almost have to go undefeated on that side to get into the title game because it's going to come down to Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan on that side. But the West Division is wide open. You don't know who's going to win this side, but you know Northwestern doesn't have a chance. Okay, we can just put that in play right now. But when you look at how the wins and how the wins work, you see that everybody's over 5 or better except for Northwestern. So they're telling you it's a wide open deal. So who do I have winning? None other than the Ohio State. I just feel like Ohio State has the sweet revenge on their mind this year, but they are co-favorites with Michigan this year at plus 180. So to me, you're getting value on both sides. So if you like Michigan, you can take Michigan. But I just feel like Ohio State got some really, really bad taste in their mouth from these previous beat downs from Michigan the last 2 years. And their idea right now is it's not worry about the national championship. Let's worry about beating Michigan first. And that's how I'm feeling with this Ohio State team going into this season. But they know that they got to beat up on the rest of the conference as well, too. So this should be a very, very, very good season in the Big Ten. And I think we're going to have ourselves some good parity, but it's going to come down to the usual suspects as usual. So we move forward, let's go ahead and talk about the Pac-12. And I'm going to start moving a little bit quickly because